Yeah, dude. So I'm doing this Simon Becher video right now, and I'm wearing this red flannel. Why am I wearing a red flannel? Because he played in Denmark, and like Denmark's flag is red, and then you also flannels are popular in Canada, like especially in the Pacific Northwest. And then, oh yeah, I got the beanie too, the blue Billikens beanie. Yes, I'm aware it's July. Yes, I am aware of the dangers of heat stroke. Because the people are worth it. Big Sam left a big hole in St. Louis City SC striker core when he secured a transfer to Philadelphia Union. How was St. Louis going to replace the 10 goals in 35 games that Sam contributed? Turns out all they had to do was look in their own backyard to find a player that not just starred at St. Louis University, not just went in the first round of the 2022 MLS Super Draft, but has scored 8 goals in 26 games in the MLS. And like Johnny Klein, Simon Becher has gone from slew to the loo. But unlike his former Billiken teammate, Simon has taken a much less direct path from St. Louis University to St. Louis City, with stops in Canada and Denmark along the way. Simon was born in Topeka, Kansas, and grew up in Connecticut, but his family has roots in St. Louis. His grandfather, Bill Becher, and his uncle, Bill Becher, are both members of the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame. Bill the Elder has been a part of the local soccer scene from the late 50s to the mid-80s as both a player and a coach, notably coaching Norco Soccer Club, a club that has seen its fair share of Betchers come through its ranks. And that includes Bill the Younger. Bill had a long indoor soccer career, mostly with the Harrisburg Heat, where he scored 227 goals in 215 games, before spending 13 years coaching the Harrisburg City Islanders of the USL Pro, the predecessor to the USL Championship. Simon started his collegiate career not too far from home, staying in the Northeast to play his freshman season with College of the Holy Cross, scoring 7 goals in 17 games played in a single season there. It would also be around this time where Becher received the first of 3 call-ups to the U.S. national team under-20s, though he did not play a competitive match for them. It was a valuable experience for Becher, who played alongside the likes of Josh Sargent, Jesus Ferreira, and Richie Ledesma, among others, but it was here where coaches noticed his potential as a number 9 striker after playing much of his youth career as a midfielder. But Becher's success at Holy Cross left him wanting a greater challenge. He told staff that he needed to be in an environment that produces pro soccer players and would push him every day. He actually passed up Ivy League offers at Harvard, Yale, and Brown, and instead moved to St. Louis University in 2019, a school that has a proven track record of producing professionals such as Brian McBride and Tim Ream, along with current pros Patrick Schulte and Johnny Klein. Becher had to work his way into the lineup at SLU, starting 6 of the Billikens' 12 games in 2019. In 2020, he would start 13 games and tally 5 goals, but he really took off in 2021, scoring 14 goals and adding 10 assists while starting all 21 games. It was good enough to rank second in scoring in the entire NCAA, making him a first-team All-American and a Herman Trophy semifinalist. He also formed a solid link-up with future St. Louis City midfielder Johnny Klein in the process. His ability to link up with teammates was something his head coach at SLU, Kevin Kalish, praised Becher for, along with his intelligence and strong personality. After getting drafted to the MLS, Kalish praised Becher's ability to hold the ball, create space in the box, and draw fouls, but also noted Becher's willingness to roll up his sleeves and defend. And that last part is critical if you've been following St. Louis City since its inception. One knock on Sam Adeniran during his time in St. Louis was that his one-dimensional approach made him a bit of a square peg in a round hole in St. Louis's scheme. He's a pure goal scorer who didn't contribute much defensively or to the team's passing mentality. Becher does have a reputation, though, of being a well-rounded striker that should fit St. Louis's mentality. His performance at SLU, along with USL 2 stints at Reading United AC and Ocean City Nor'easters, attracted the attention of the Vancouver Whitecaps, who selected him 16th overall in the 2022 MLS Super Draft. He was actually the 4th SLU Billiken taken in the first round of this draft, following 3rd overall pick Isaiah Isaiah Parker to FC Dallas, 5th overall pick Kip Keller to Austin FC and secret St. Louis agent Kip Keller, if you know you know, and 12th overall pick Patrick Schulte to Columbus Crew. That one really worked out for Columbus, didn't it? Becher spent almost all of 2022 in MLS Next Pro, scoring 8 goals in 22 appearances and showing the promise he had shown to entice Vancouver to spend a first-round pick on him. Enough promise for the Whitecaps to call him up to the main MLS roster for a game, and Becher rewarded their faith by scoring a goal against the Houston Dynamo. In 2023, Becher earned a MLS contract and got in a fair bit of game time, though he was not a regular starter. He scored this goal just seconds off coming off the bench and got off to a hot start, scoring 4 goals and an assist in the first 6 games, one of the fastest to ever do so in league history. He even earned MLS Player of the Match Day for Week 6 with a 2-goal, 1-assist effort against CF Montreal. But at this point, I actually need to backtrack a little bit, because if you're wondering if St. Louis City was paying attention to all of this, well, it turns out that they were. After all, he was a SLU product, and I know St. Louis soccer fans were paying attention too, but the proof is in Transfer Market's Manuel Veth, who told Flyover Footy last year that St. Louis might have ended up with Becher had another striker not come available.
And I know that St. Louis tried to get him in the offseason, and I spoke to people, sources yesterday at the game, who confirmed this to me, that there was an offer. Ultimately, what happened is that Nicolas Giorgini became available at the draft. Nicolas Giorgini was such a fantastic pickup. The moment he became available, St. Louis shifted and got him, while keeping an eye on Becher and probably hoping that he wouldn't explode onto the scene, because there was continuous talks, and there have been conversations about bringing him on.
Becher would soon cool off considerably in Vancouver, and at the same time, Ryan Gauld and Brian White would form a monstrous attacking partnership, like a dangerous two-headed hydra poking its head out of the Vancouver harbor. So when the opportunity rose for Vancouver to sell Becher in the January window, they took it, selling the young forward to AC Horsens in Denmark for $400,000. Not a bad sum for a forward with an inconsistent 2023, and not a bad opportunity for Becher to impress abroad in Europe and perhaps launch his career forward.
Playing in Europe is something I've always wanted to do, and I've been, I think in 2 points in my career I've considered, coming over and trying to look at options. If you want to play the best football in the world, you come to Europe, and I think there's a reason for that, and I think it's pretty well known. I guess from my perspective, I know, a number of players who have come, went to a certain club, performed, went again, and now they're at the top of the game. They're playing in Serie A, they're playing in the Premier League. From at least my perspective, Europe is, the top of the top.
But it didn't work out that way. Becher scored just 3 goals in 14 matches for the Danish second-tier side in 2024, and you'd be forgiven if you're thinking that there's something gone horribly wrong with the St. Louis to Denmark pipeline at this point. Nicolas Dürr lasted just as long in America as Becher did in Denmark. But this move signals to me a couple of things here from St. Louis City. Number one, they're not just thirsty for European talent. They've had their eyes on Becher since really the beginning. The second thing is that it's a signal that the front office understands the value of tapping into the St. Louis base of talent. It's one thing that us St. Louisans pride ourselves on. In addition to Johnny Klein, the club also has the rights to Josh Sargent, keep in mind, if he ever decides to take the MLS plunge down the road. Third, unlike the Cedric Teuchert signing that effectively replaces Nico Gioacchini, St. Louis is acting now to replace a void at the striker position that was created after shipping out Sam Adeniran. Becher effectively replaces Sam Adeniran, and trust me, that is a whole 23-minute video that you can catch up on right over here if you've got the time. But this means that St. Louis is acting faster to replace Adeniran than they did to replace Gioacchini. St. Louis had their eyes on Cedric Teuchert from Hannover 96 back in the January transfer window, but reportedly Hannover 96 played hardball over his transfer fee despite him going out of contract in 6 months. St. Louis decided not to play chicken, sit back, and wait for him to become a free this summer, which did happen, and now Teuchert has made his debut for St. Louis City SC against Sporting Kansas just this past Saturday before this was recorded. And all for the low price of 0 transfer fee. So this move with Becher signals that St. Louis is not going to wait around for change to happen. This club has had chronic issues scoring this season. At the time of this recording, St. Louis is actually first in MLS in total shots, but just 24th out of 29 clubs in actually scoring goals. Becher, while he is a depth option, should help with that alongside Teukert and Marcel Hartl, who again bagged 17 goals last season in St. Pauli's promotion climbing season this past season, while also tallying 12 assists as well. Becher has proven that he can score at the MLS level. It's just a question of how frequently, how often, and how consistent he will be. And yes, I do think that the shine has worn off for Becher since his hot start last season in Vancouver. He tailed off late in the season, has not gotten off to a flyer at all at AC Horsens. I wouldn't go as far as to call Becher a reclamation project at this point. He hasn't suffered any major injury, and he's just 25 years old. But he adds stability at a position that has been far from it this season. He has St. Louis roots, which is always a plus, and he plays a responsible two-way game as a pressing forward, something that makes him perhaps a better fit for St. Louis than Sam Adeniran ever was. Do you share my optimism about Simon Becher, or do you feel that St. Louis should have gone another route? Nick Marcanic! Drop a comment below and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this analysis of St. Louis's newest striker. And if you do enjoy videos like this, consider becoming a member of the supporter section along with these fine folks. Come on, I just need one more of you to fill a proper football lineup here. I'll even let you pick the position you play. This is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, and if you enjoy players with STL roots playing for STL's MLS club, then CLICK your MOUSE on this VID about Johnny Klein. OMG WTF, what is this ending? LOL?